Welcome everyone! As you know, I've covered a couple of standard rook and pawn endgames. If you missed those, I've covered the Philidor position, the Lucina position, the Vancouver defense and the Kling and Horwitz defense. But for completeness sake, I felt I should include today's topic as well. I'll be showing something called the first rank defense, and the defending side can use this when there's a knight's pawn, so a B or G pawn, and the defending king is already in front of the pawn. It's super easy and it makes a lot of sense once you've seen it, but I'm sure not everyone watching this has seen it before, and if you have, then it's a nice and short reminder. Let's start this off. As you can see, white is the attacking side, there's a pawn on b5 and it's white to move, and white goes king to a6, hoping to escort the pawn to promotion. Now black has only one move that draws. A losing move would be rook to b1, because after king to b6, white is threatening with rook h8 checkmate, and now the king has to escape to d7 and white will promote and win. The only move to draw is rook to c8, and now you see why it's called the first rank defense. It's because the rook must remain on the first rank, and when it does, you'll see easily why white cannot win. White goes b6, and now we just wait with the rook. We only have to keep it on the first rank. Now white's king doesn't have a sensible move, and white wants of course to get black's king off the promotion square, so black tries rook b7 check, and it still can go wrong for black. If king to c8 would be played, then white's king can advance. There's already a threat to win black's rook, so let's say rook to f1 going for some checks. But it's an easy win because white can get the Lucina position. Now let me quickly show that as a reminder. Rook c7 check, king to d8. Now the attacking king gets in front of the pawn. Let's say black goes rook to b1, b7. Black can't do anything, let's say rook to a1. And if you've seen my video on the Lucina position, you know what white will play next. He's going to build a bridge. The rook is going to shield white's king. First though, after king to d7, white gives this check. Now white's king can vacate the square for the pawn. Black's going for checks, otherwise white simply promotes the pawn. And after rook b1 check, the rook blocks. And whether black trades rooks or not, white promotes the pawn and wins. So that as a quick reminder, now let's go back to the position we were looking at. Black needs to make sure the white king cannot advance, so king to a8 is the right move. White can check again, but the king just ends up where it was, and it's clear white cannot make any progress after the rook moves away. Then we just wait with the rook again. White can try one last thing. He could play b7, but then the game ends quickly. First, rook g6 check. And after king to a5, you could go for never-ending checks. When the king comes back, simply check and keep checking forever, and it's gonna be a draw. You don't need to do that. After king to a5, you can also simply drop the rook back, and white can't do anything. If the king comes back, you just check again, and it's gonna be a draw. But there's a more fun way to end this. Going back here, after king to a5, we also have this cute trick. Rook to b6. Now if white doesn't take the rook but checks, then after king to a7, the king will just take the pawn no matter what happens. So for example, rook a8 check, king takes pawn, and it's again a draw. But of course, if white does take the rook, then we have saved ourselves with stalemate. So that's the first rank defense for you. When it's a knight's pawn and your king is already in front of the pawn, bring your rook back and simply wait on the first rank with the rook and nothing can go wrong. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video or if you learned something, please do me a favor and simply like the video. I'll include a playlist with the other endgame videos in case you want to check those out. I'll definitely cover many more, so be on the lookout for those. I'll be seeing you guys again soon, and take care.